Okay, so thanks for making it. The protocol for those of you who haven't joined, whoever wants to speak, just unmute, and I'll know that you want to speak. You can also just raise your hand, and when you're not speaking, if you mute, and then it cuts out any background noise, etc. Okay, so the agenda for today, I've got a number of items which we'll try to get through. The first one we're going to do is introducing your CELTA 5. So I'm going to share Fronter with you now. Yours won't look exactly like this, but it will be something like this. At any point, if you need me to repeat anything or you need to ask any questions, don't forget, just raise your hand or unmute, and you're free to do so. Okay, just give me a second and let me share the screen. Okay, I'm just going to navigate to this course room now. Okay, so you'll find somewhere on your left-hand side, you'll find a button that says CELTA 5 URL. Okay, you can do this live if you want, or you can come back and do it at a later date. It's up to you. But basically, this is what you will need to look at in order to fulfill the administrative requirements for the course. So we'll click on CELTA 5. And as I say, yours might not look exactly like this. You might not get this extra CELTA 5 URL. And you definitely won't get this because these are all the different courses where I've got CELTA 5s. Here's your CELTA 5s. Let's have a look at Philip, shall we? They're all identical. Okay, so you should be able to click into your CELTA 5 and you should see something like this. Well, in fact, you should see exactly this. Let's scroll down the first page. You'll see I filled in the first details for you. This bit's not relevant. And your job on this page, this is the introduction page, is to read through. And this gives you all the requirements for the course. It's largely administrative. If you're the sort of person that buys a TV and then reads the instruction manual, then fill your boots and read this. If you're like me, you're the sort of person that buys a TV and then uses the instruction manual to light the barbecue, then you may find yourself not reading this particularly carefully. So it depends on how A-type personality you are. So scroll down, read all the blah, 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 which I'm sure is actually really useful, but as I say, I've never quite brought myself to read it. And then when you've read that, you have to say that you've read it, and you just type in your name. So Phil the man, and then whatever the date is, okay? So that's what you need to do for the introduction. And then you keep reading down, and this is what we call, in technical terminology, covering your arse. So this is where they say none of it's our fault, and if there are any problems, don't come crying to us. So no, it just tells you what to do if you've got candidate concerns. If you find that you're ready to kill one of us by the end of the course, you can tell Cambridge, you can appeal, etc., etc. I've never had an appeal yet, unless it's me appealing to the TP participants to leave me alone. No, I'm only kidding. We've never had any appeals as yet, but you tend to find if you've got any issues, you just come and speak to us and we find a solution. I don't see how it could get so far down the road that it would go to Cambridge, as to say, but there is an appeals process. And then it says, I confirm that I've read or scrolled past the Cambridge English appeals procedure. You need to do the same again. You need to put your name and date, please. Okay, and then this gives you the topics of the website and how everything is assessed. And this, again, this is quite useful if you're the sort of person that needs to know everything that's coming before it arrives. If you're not, then, you know, you'll soon find out. So do make sure, please, that you've signed your name twice in the introduction. Now let's look at the record of attendance. Okay, number of course hours and number of hours completed. You do that at the end of the course. And this is for unavoidable absences. So Ben, you were absent. You put the date and you say activities missed TP1 and the reason, just put sickness, and then said, and then just say rescheduled TP for later date. And then when you've done that, if you could please tell Tim, well, actually, no, it doesn't matter. Just let me know, and I'll just put my initials there. Okay, and don't forget to save, by the way, otherwise it doesn't. Okay. And then if you just don't turn up one day, I'm supposed to write it in there. Not that I ever have. Okay, now here's something you'll all have to do. This is your record of observations of experienced classroom teachers. We'll talk about this again a little more in a minute. But basically, you need to put, well, you can read. You need to fill this in. Okay, if you're not sure on the lesson focus, make it up. Okay, and that's not required. I can, you know, I'll probably just go down and sign that all for you. Don't forget to save. Okay. And then this is your record of assessed teaching practice. So you can actually start filling this in today. You've all done, well, most of you can. Most of you done TP1. So again, I'll leave it up to your wonderful reading skills to figure out what it is you're supposed to put there. Okay, and your tutor assessment, you put pass because everybody's a pass. Okay, and again, I'll sign off on all that. If you remind me at some point during the course just to have a look, you know, it can be in a live room session or just on a after TP, or sling me an email and I will pop in your initials there. It just needs to be done before the assessor comes, and the assessor will come at around TP6. Okay, so we need to make sure that she will scroll through all this stuff, and it's her job to find bits that we've missed and then shout at me and Tim. Okay, and when she does that, we then fail you for the last TPs because you've made us look bad in front of the assessor. Okay, no one's putting their hands up, and you're all still. Oh, Philip's putting his hand up. Ben's putting his hand up. I wish I hadn't said that now. Go, Philip.
Sorry, so I didn't see the exact path that you got to the CELTA 5.
Okay.
But I can't seem to find it on mine.
Well, I mean, you could all have a click about. Unfortunately, my path's a bit different to yours because I've got the instructor page. But essentially, you'll find the CELTA 5 URL with this link symbol.
Yeah, mine actually started directly, but mine stops at the FAQs. It looks like you have two under the FAQ. Mine stops at the FAQ. There's nothing under that. The assessor resource and CELTA 5.
I wonder if there's any way I can get a student view of this. See, this is one of the issues with. Has anybody found it? Because if one person can find it, then we can share it with everybody else. Why don't we have a little activity? Everybody spend a minute and see if you can find where the link to the CELTA 5 is. And then the first person to find it wins going home early. See if you can find it, and then put your hand up, and then you can share screen, and you can share with us. Because mine, unfortunately, is different, and I don't know how to get the student view. So everyone take a minute and see if you can find where it says CELTA 5 on your page. It's not going to be there. There's not even a category for CELTA 5 in the help. About F for find. I tell you what we could do if you want. Maybe I'll be able to find it better than you. Philip, could you share your page with us? So I'm going to stop my share. At the bottom of your screen, you should see an icon that says share screen. So if you go to your course and choose share screen, okay. So yeah, you guys keep going down. Additional, you go down as FAQs. Have a look in my portfolio. Okay, have a look in, it's not going to be in course units. Have a look in additional resources. Don't think it's going to be there. Have a look in activity log. Try activity log, Philip.
There's
Nothing there, scrolling down. No. Click on tools. Tools at the top.
yeah, sorry.
No, just bloody useless. Click on rooms. Display all rooms. Okay, stop sharing for a minute. Let me just go to the CELTA 5s and make sure that I've shared them. Maybe this is a problem my end. Let me just share the screen so you can share in the what I'm doing. Okay, of course. No. And Tajana, I'm going to share your link to your CELTA 5 with you. Oh, no, I'm not. That's not going to work. I'm going to email it to you. Can you see if you click on the link if it works? Okay, yeah, I just sent it.
I'm a bit lost because I remember earlier I could see CELTA 5 somewhere. The site has been changed. Today it's different, but I was able to see it before.
This is getting more and more mysterious by the minute, isn't it? Because Ben's having difficulties with the site. I wonder if this is some issue with the site. I've never had this problem before. Just to have a look, Altayan, I've sent you an email. If you could see if you could open the link from that, please.
Give me just a second, please. Should be the new one. And I was wondering what CELTA 5 was.
I mean, it's not, you know, we'll figure it out. It'd just be nice to figure it out now, because it is something we need to get to grips with at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the same with you, Iris. Sorry, I do. Is it Iris or Iris? I pronounce it the Spanish way as well.
Both is correct. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'll stick.
I know you mean me, so it's fine.
Okay, so there's your. See if that works for you, please. Just sent it, and let's go and do the same for. Who's next? Next is Ben. No, I don't think it doesn't seem the site's working at all for Ben, but I'll send it to you anyway, Ben. Let's see what you can see. Oops. I'll put it there. And I can't see your. How does your email address start, Ben?
Should I share the screen?
Yeah, can you see it?
Here, the green one.
Yep, share away. Yep.
And then what? Desktop.
If you see share screen, and then you should see the CELTA 5, and there you go. There you go. That's right. And can you try to navigate around, please, Diana?
Okay.
So click record of attendance, for example.
Okay.
Click on that. Okay, so you can stop sharing now if you want. I tell you what I'll do then. I'll give me a minute. I'll send everybody their URL for the CELTA 5, and you can access it there. Just save it somewhere in favorites, and we'll see if we can solve the mystery. But if not, at least we can access it this way. Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up if it's okay. Excellent. Good. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll do it now then while it's fresh in our minds. I do like it when an issue is solved, albeit. Let's have a look. Let's just get Ben's me. Let's have a look. There you are. That's you, Ben. Yours is gone. And now let's do. And next is Michael. Michael's not here, so I won't confuse him by sending something he won't know what it is. I'll wait for him to call me confused. Okay, I'm sending Philip now. Where is it? No, can't see there. How does your email begin, Philip?
That was muted. PCWLIS.
Sorry, you're breaking up. Give me the first letter again.
P as in Philip. It's TOW as in cow. P cow.
No, I'm not getting it. Could you just send it to me in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Good, thanks, Ben. Have you sent it? Philip, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there it is, yeah. Is it Kolish or Cowlish?
My name is Kalish, but I only use Kalish. I don't use AW at the end.
Kolish.
Yeah. Full name Kalish.
Collishaw.
Yeah.
I like Cowlishaw. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of. It seems a bit friendly. I kind of get images of pastoral scenes.
It's from England.
Yeah,
Originated.
much. Yeah, it sounds like It sounds like a one of those English medieval names, like somebody into cows. Quite sure what. Indeed.
I'll just get your email and check it out.
Right, there's that. So all I've got to do now, I think, is I don't know if I've sent Iris or not. Let's have a look.
Great, I received it. Thank you.
And that's just Shan to go. Okay.
John, I have a question here. When we have to write down the level of our TPs, our class, is it level beginners or intermediate, elementary?
Beginners.
Beginners. Okay, yeah, because we changed. Okay, thanks.
How does your email begin, Shan?
Who?
Shan, how does your email begin?
Oh, Zen?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button. I've actually written it down. I'll just point the camera at it.
Where have you written it? Did you write it in the chat? I can't see it.
No. If you look at the camera, I just wrote it on a piece of paper.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay, got it. Great. Yeah, that's so nice. I like that. Old school. The mashup.
So you use this with technology.
Yeah. Good. So, if anybody I haven't sent it to, please raise your hand or tell me. I think everybody's got it now. Okay, great. Right, that took a bit longer than I would have liked. Apologies. Atif and Michael, if you're watching this, just send me an email and I'll reply with your CELTA 5 URL. Okie dokie. Next item on the agenda, completing your observation tasks. Now, let's take you back to the course. Record of attendance. Hang on a minute. It would help if I shared, wouldn't it? So I'm back in the CELTA 5. I'm on the record of attendance, and you'll see there you've got record of observations of experienced classroom teachers, including filmed observations, and you'll see there's a God, how many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 16 of them. I'm going to show you what you can do to access these now. Let me just have a look. So if we go to classroom observations, you should all have that folder. Click on that. And then you'll see observation room guidelines, tasks, and videos. So there are two types of observation. The first type of observation are the videos which are already uploaded to Fronter. So you watch them and you complete one of the tasks. The second type of observation you're supposed to do live. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just trying to think if it's already there on my my blog. I've got a link to a YouTube channel. On that YouTube channel, I've got me teaching a couple of lessons. So you can use... No, I haven't got it there. I'll have to send that to you. Let me send you that link now. I promise that I don't actually watch these things on YouTube. It's my kids, honestly. Oh no, the New York Hardcore, that was me. Right, so let's go here. My channel. Okay, so you'll see on my channel, oh yeah, I have sent it because that's where the live room session was from last week. Basically, John's demo lessons, and if you bend the rules slightly, you might be able to get 2 lessons out of that. Okay, I'll use that to your creative observation skills. So this is for really people who struggle. I know Iris isn't working in a school and might struggle to get access to live observations. So for you, you might kind of want to be creative and see, right, maybe I can get 2 observations or 3 observations out of this. Okay. I think the rest of you are all teaching. Oh no, Alti Jan, I'm not sure if you're teaching, but anyway, you get the idea. So let me just send you the URL to that channel. Okay, that's done. So what you will do is something like this. You will go into the guidelines and you will read the guidelines, which we will not do now. What you do need to be aware of is you will complete 6 hours of observation, and that 3 of these hours should be live observations. So you can see in your case, Iris, you could even possibly get away with just using my videos. You've already observed me teaching once. You know, you might be able to get 2 tasks out of that. You know, so hopefully you'll be able to get around it. I know I was speaking to Shan, and I know that you and Philip have got plenty of opportunities to observe, so I'm not worried about you. So you will observe 3 live lessons. That's all you really need to bear in mind, and the rest you will get from the videos. So there are the tasks. I don't have any great preferences for the tasks. You know, if you're observing 30 minutes, then you could do up to 12 of these tasks. You may just do 6 of them. That's really up to you. You might want to work to your weaknesses. You might just want to work on areas of interest. I think interaction patterns is often an area of weakness on the CELTA for people. Instruction giving is often an area of weakness. And teacher talk time. They're 3 interesting ones, but honestly, it's really up to you. So you'll click on one of the links, and you'll find the task is there, and they're fairly self-explanatory. If you want to look in advance and you've got any questions, do please let me know. If not, this is something you complete on your own without any real input from the tutor. I just realized I'm not sharing. I do apologize. Let me try that again and actually show you this time. So yeah, you've got the guidelines there, and then the tasks here. And so you just click on those. Those are Word documents which will open. You complete the task. And then here are the videos. So you would choose, I mean, I don't quite know how long these are. Let's have a look. But don't forget, you're supposed to do 3 hours. So if David Riddle's class is 40 minutes, then you might need to end up doing all 4 of those. But I can't remember off the top of my head how long each of those is, but you'll need to have a look. Any questions or comments regarding those classroom observations? You should do them as the course progresses. And it's not something you should try and leave to the end, and it's something people often leave to the end. I think if you can do them towards the beginning of the course, it actually informs your own teaching practice. So it's more useful to do it earlier rather than leaving it until you're kind of tidying up at the end of the course. Iris.
Once you complete them, you fill them out, and then you just upload them, or you just fill in on
No,
the.
you just fill in the CELTA 5.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Keep them, but you don't include them in the portfolio. But keep them anyway, just in case any issues arise. Okay. Any more questions? If not, I'll move on. Okay, great. That went a bit smoother than the last item. Observing your fellow participants. Okay. Let's have a look. Second sort of pathway. Yeah, I think we're going to do this. Okay. This isn't a formal course requirement, but I think it's something that really helps. Tim's TP group, if he's, you know, if he gives you different tasks, then please go with them. If he doesn't give you any tasks, then basically as you're watching your classmates, I would like you also to fill out one of the observation forms. So have a look at those classroom observation tasks, which are for the experienced teachers, but also fill them out for when you're watching each other. It's simply a way of helping you to focus on watching your classmates, because it's quite easy when you finish teaching yourself to switch off and sit there and go, thank God that's over, and kind of relax. And if you haven't taught yet, it's quite easy to sit there worrying about your own lesson or even doing last minute planning. But you are supposed to be watching your colleagues and learning from them. So if you could also, when you come to class, either print or online, if you could work through one of those observation tasks as well. So say it doesn't have to be, if you're observing a 40-minute lesson, I'm not expecting you to sit there and, you know, watch everything that your classmate does very carefully. But it just means when we do feedback, you've got something that you've written down and you'd like to share. Also, of course, when you are observing, if you're, let's say you're observing teacher talk time, but you see a practice activity that you think is really fantastic, make a note somewhere of that and be prepared to share that in feedback as well. Okay, any questions or comments about that? Okay, good. So just to reiterate, that's slightly different to the experienced teacher's observation. That's you observing each other, and I would like you to try and fill out one or two of those tasks every week. You know, even if you just spend 15-20 minutes focusing on your colleague, and then be prepared to share your observations in feedback. Okay, what's next? Okay, the next item is completing your reflections. Now, I think Tim sent you some reflection forms in Box. Am I right in thinking that? Let me try and get to Tim's email there. I know Tim sent this to his TP group a while ago, and of course I didn't read his emails. I never do, and he never reads mine. And he said, "You don't read my emails today?" I said, "I do." He said, "Well, you don't because you haven't used my observation record sheet." So he got me there, but it was a rather good one, so I thought we'd share it with the group. Of course, I can't find it now.
Are you talking about the focus on feedback form?
Yeah.
Or, okay, yeah. From the 16th. Email on the 16th.
16th. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting there.
TP course timetable updates. Courses I've been over.
TP and course timetable up to date. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to show you 3 resources now that Tim shared with us, which, say, he shared with me today. We had a meeting, and when we accused each other a lot, and this is what he said he would like to share, and they all seem like really good resources, so I'll do that. Okay, so Tim sent us this email dated the 16th, as Philip says. I can resend it if anybody needs it. It says TP and course timetable up to date. And the first link is this one here, which looks like I'm going to have to... Oh, no, it's going to work. Okay, I have to reshare that. And when you go into it, it's this one here. And it says TP Docs is the folder I'm interested in now. And then we've got focus on feedback. So these are areas for the earlier TPs. Now, you'll have noticed for my TP group, I actually give you feedback from all areas. And that's just a personal choice because I like to kind of hit on what I think will be the problem areas early on. But as I also said to you, TP1 and to a lesser extent TP2, I mean, it's fairly basic stuff. So these are the areas that we would expect you to be able to meet in those early TPs, and then it's going through to 7, 8, and 9. So that's just a little help there. And then let's see if and then we've got this self-evaluation form for TPs 1 and 2. And then this is, you know, it's fairly basic, but it's a form. Again, you don't have to use it. It might be nice if you did, just so, you know, we continue to use it throughout the course. And for Tim's participants, he may insist on you using it. So, you know, you might as well with me as well if you feel comfortable with doing so. So basically, the evaluation you did for me after TP1, just leave that as it is. But for TP2, if you want to use this, and then for subsequent TPs, we've got this form here.
Can you share the screen?
I do apologise. I'm forgetting again. Sorry. Can't be good at everything. Can't even be good at limited things. There you go. Let me go back to the last one. Thanks, Philip. So you've got your inbox again there, and it says tutor TP. Sorry, it says self-evaluation TP1, 2. And scroll down there, and it's basically what I asked you to do for my TP group, and I'm sure you know what Tim asked you to do as well. And it's just gives it a little bit of a framework. Again, I'm trying to remember if these go into the portfolio. Honestly, can't remember, but anyway, it's a requirement for you to do them. So do make sure that you do. As soon as your lesson is finished, sit down and do your self-evaluation. And as I said, we might as well use this form for the next TP. And then for 3 to 9, we might as well use this form here. Okay. So again, it just focuses your reflections a little bit, that's all. So don't forget that's through the link box, or the box link even. Any questions about that? Okay, great stuff. You're getting a lot of information today, so please. What?
Sorry, can you resend me that link via email?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I think might have deleted it by accident.
Let's have a look.
I can send it to you today.
I think personally that's the best thing to do with all of Tim's emails, but just I hope he doesn't watch this recording.
Right,
I'm just going to send it to everybody. Resending Tim's essential email. Smiley face. Okay, it's gone to everybody. Okie dokie. What's next? Done. Right. Preparing for TP2 and what we learned from TP1 and assignment 1 brainstorming questions. Let's do with assignment 1 first. And that will leave us 10 minutes just for a few general TP questions. So assignment 1, I'm going to take you back. Oh no, sorry. Totally my fault. I've forgotten something. And you're going to thank me for being disorganized because this is really, really cool. Tim has found a website that plans your lessons for you. And we had a discussion about the sort of whether this was useful, and we decided that it was, and we decided that as this is a training course, you're not expected to come up with fantastic polished lesson plans yourself, and any help you can get is all to the good. So it's in the email, and it's EnglishLessonPlanner.com. Let me share the screen with you. I haven't used it myself yet, but Tim waxed lyrical about it this morning and basically said that all you need to do is to sign up to this, I guess through the sign in, sorry, even through the sign up. I'm quick like that. Sign up, and then you put in your aims and objectives, etc., which you've got in your TP points, and it spits out a CELTA lesson plan for you. Okay? So I strongly advise that you take advantage of this wonderful resource that Tim has found for us. Okay? Any questions or comments? Great stuff. I hope you enjoy that. Has anybody used it yet? No, you see, nobody reads Tim's emails. I told him, but he wouldn't listen.
No, I have it. I have it opened. I've logged in. I've signed up, but I haven't used it.
Right, I haven't used it. Okay. Yeah.
I will now.
Yeah, I think it's a time saver. I really do. Okay, great. So let's have a look at assignment 1. Right, let me share the screen. Someone's chatting me. And what happened, Ben? Ben says he tried it, but it did it not work for you, Ben? Maybe you can send me a, because I know you didn't work. Ben says it didn't work. All right. I wonder if somebody else can try it, or if it doesn't work, it'll give me great satisfaction to tell Tim that it didn't work and his resources are rubbish. So it's a win-win for me. If somebody else wants to try and see if it works, that would be good. Tim said it did. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Maybe tell us why it didn't work, and we can investigate for you. Okie dokie.
It seems to be working here. Just real quickly plugged in a couple of things. It actually shows pictures, and it does look like it's pretty easy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So see how you get on with it. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, you don't get on with it, that's fine as well. It's just an extra resource that we thought might be of use. Okay, let's go back to Fronter. And you'll see on Fronter, we've got 2 links I want to look at now. The one is assignments and the other is assignment handing. So let's click on assignments first. And assignment 1. I don't have the schedule to hand. I think assignment 1 is due pretty soon, if not now. Yes, it is, says Philip.
Next week, I think.
Next week. Okay, so please, you will hand in your assignments, and I will give them all a first grade, and then Tim will give 2 or 3 of them a second grading. I've got to be honest, the assignments are a pain. You are allowed to do a second attempt at each assignment. And what happens about 60 to 70% of the time, actually, more like 70 to 80% of the time, people fail the first attempt. And I have to mark it, give them the feedback, and then they redo it, and then I pass them. And it's quite a boring cycle, which I would love to break. And I would love to break it by you all passing the first time. Nobody in the history of CELTA-ness has ever failed a CELTA because they can't do the assignments. If you're that bad at writing and we get that desperate, I almost sit down and write the damn thing for you. So you will not fail the assignments, but the worse you are at them, the more work you make for me. So I'm hoping against hope that all of you do 2 things. The first thing you do is read the guidelines. The second thing you do is follow the guidelines. Okay? If you just do what it says, you'll pass. This is not an academic thing. CELTA don't want you, Cambridge don't want you to fail the CELTA based on these assignments. So they don't make them that difficult. But I've got a mark sheet, and the mark sheet has got very specific criteria. And if you don't follow them, I have to fail you. And then you have to rewrite it, and it's boring for everybody. So click on the guidelines and read them. Now, you should have all done your interviews. Shan, you will not have done your interview. Ben, you will not have done your interview. What I suggest is at the end of the lesson, Shan, you do your interview. Now, most of the students are beginners. 1 or 2 are a bit stronger. They're all Spanish speakers. Try and do the interview. If you can't, ask me to translate for you. And I'll just sit with you for 10 minutes, but be prepared and be ready to grab one of the students, do the interview. And as I say, if you just can't get the answers out of her, just let me know and I can translate. Although I think, Iris, you managed, didn't you? Yeah. You got...
Yes, I managed, yeah.
Yeah, good. So it's writing a learner profile. I am not going to sit here and read this with you. I'm presuming you've got this far in your academic careers because you can already read. But I am going to beg you on bended knee to actually read and do what this says. And there is even a checklist which tells you what to do. You'll notice that on the checklist says there are not enough references from methodology texts. I have sent you on that blog link, there's enough text there to do the whole CELTA. So you're very lucky. It's not like the old days when you have to go around and find find books. I have provided a wealth of illegal downloads for you to enjoy. If for any reason you feel those links are not enough, on the same blog, you'll see a button for Delta. You click on the Delta link and there are loads more books. They're not very well organized, so I never had time, but there are absolutely tons of books. There's no need to go to any libraries, no need to worry about any of that. It's all online at the click of a button. Just don't tell anybody. Right, so you're going to read the guidelines. Should we do a little swearing ceremony, like I promised to read the guidelines and sort of do that? Should we do that? Okay, let's do it. Repeat after me. I solemnly swear to, I see Philip. Are you taking this seriously, Philip? I solemnly swear to read the guidelines or buy John a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label mind, for him to enjoy. Okay, thank you very much. Good, done. Guidelines, right, that's that done. And there's the question itself. And then here you get instructions for uploading, which I'm also going to give you now. So the instructions for uploading are, click on assignment handing. Ah, I need to activate that, don't I? Well done for noticing that, Jim. I'll figure that out in a minute. Click on assignment 1. And then upload task. And then it will say delivered. There you all are. Sorry if your names are all spelt wrong. Especially yours, Ben. You got the most complicated name. And I think I've spelled Altijana's wrong as well, but it'll all come out in the thing. Okay, so upload task. And that's what you have to do. Any questions or comments?
Just because it's deactivated, we didn't actually see all those names.
Yeah, I'm going to activate you.
Okay.
We can all embarrass ourselves, and you can watch me trying to do it now. And realize that I haven't got a clue how to do it. Or, yeah, let's not embarrass me by watching me trying to navigate this site and go, how do you do that? And click here, there, and everywhere. I'll do it after we finish. I promise it will be activated by sometime tomorrow. Okay.
I had a question about the appendix. Like, we should send you the exercises we picked as well, or it's just
yes. No, yeah, you include the exercises at the end of the assignment.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Right. Okay. Sorry, it's been one of those sessions today. It's kind of a housekeeping type session, but we're into the course a bit more, and it's good to get these things flagged up and get everybody, on the same page in terms of what's expected of you, with management, etc. Okay, TP1. I want you to give me 3 words to describe the experience. Obviously, Shan and Ben, their 3 words are going to be nothing, nothing, and nothing. So we'll go Iris and Philip, and then Adriana. 3 words to describe your experience in TP1, please, starting with Iris.
Yeah, it was fun, a bit challenging when I got down to the explanation of the grammar.
That's more than 3 words already.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it then.
Fun, challenging, you can have 1 more.
Like, I've learned from it, like learning.
Okay, learning. Good, fun, challenging, and learning. Philip.
I learned that teacher talk time too high,
Okay.
monitoring not enough correction, and but otherwise fun, energetic, big group.
Right, okay, so fun, teacher talk, and monitoring. Yeah, teacher talk, I've got to be honest, I think teacher talk's more of a problem in intermediate level, in the sense that they understand what you say, so you tend to talk more. Teacher talk's a problem at beginner levels, because any teacher talk is too much teacher talk, essentially. It needs to be so minimal, so that they're 2 different types of problem. Good. Adriana?
My 3 words are TTT, which was very high. Working on monitoring, let's say monitoring, and smile. I was told to smile more in the classroom.
It's a tough one, the smiley one, isn't it? Because it's kind of a, you're there a bag of nerves, and I think we talked a little bit about this in the live room, and it last week, and I think it's if smile's not your style, then some other way to make the students realize that you feel relaxed, so that they feel relaxed, and that's not just so you have a nice vibe, but it's actually related to acquisition. And it's this thing called the affective filter that we talked a little bit about last week. And it's this idea that if you can make them feel relaxed, that the information will go in better and they'll produce at a better level. So it's really, it's quite an important one. Okay, great. We've only got a couple of minutes left. So this is really a chance for you to ask any questions you might have related to TP2. This could be, you know, how do I improve this? How do I reduce TTT? Or how do I monitor more effectively? Or it could be, I'm teaching, you know, the past simple, any tips, anything like that. So anybody feel like asking any questions? Excellent. That's just what we want. You weren't about to ask a question then, were you, Philip? Yeah, I think I got in just in time. With regards to TTT, I think that this is my biggest piece of advice. Don't explain anything. Simply do an example. So if you've got a gap fill, don't say, now we're going to do a gap fill. Fill in the gaps with the appropriate word. What you do is you've got a sentence on the board with a gap in it. And you look at the sentence and you look at the student and you say, at the students and say, what word? Or just point. And they'll go, oh, you know, halitosis. Perfect. There's the worksheet. Off you go. And there's no need to talk. By the same token, if it's, I know Iris last week, she did quite a good job actually, but she got sidetracked with some grammar. And she ended up talking quite a lot about how the grammar was used. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but as I say, she actually did, you know, quite a good job. But nevertheless, it was too much talking. So what do? You've got a grammar point. Let's say maybe it was use of the indefinite article. You know, when to use a, when to use an, and this idea of sounds, etc. So simply, what you do is you put a sentence on the board with the target language. Anyone think of an example when you use a with a vowel, or an with an adjective, an with a consonant? What was the example last week up there?
An MP3 player, that one you mean?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, an MP3 player, right? Yeah, yeah. So an should be with a vowel, right? But of course it's not. It's with sounds. It's not actually with a letter. It's with the sound. So we had the example of MP3 player. It's an MP3 player because M starts with the sound E. So an MP3 player, and that was the example. So how do you approach that and keep your TTT yeah, that still works. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, Ben. So you've got this MP3 player example. You put up MP3 on the board, and then you say a or an. Okay, and let's say a student says a, so you write up a, and then listen, a MP3 player. Is that okay? Then you elicit no, and then you say, so an MP3 player, write it down. An MP3 player. Drill it, everybody. An MP3 player. Again, an MP3 player. And then simply say, is it the letter or the sound? An elicit sound. Okay, so what is the sound? MP3 player. An elicit E. So rather than you explaining that, you know, we've got these exceptions and it should be the sound that you go for rather than the letter, you ask a series of questions, and they can be yes, no questions, which are the easiest ones to answer. They can be or questions. So do you use a or an. Slightly harder to answer. And Philip and Shan should be good at this, because I know the direct method uses these elicitation questions in this way. So you would use either a yes, no. Do you use a? Yes or no. Do you use an? Yes or no. Or questions use a or an. And then finally, WH questions. What kind of, what's the rule? What word would you use? So if you ask that series of questions that lead the student to the rule that where you want them led, then that's another way of really reducing teacher talk. I think the only other thing I'd say in terms of teacher talk is don't be afraid to stop and say, I'll get back to you. Because sometimes if we're asked to think of things off the top of our heads, we cover up our ignorance by talking, a little bit like I'm doing now. So, instead of saying, oh shit, actually I don't know, we just start to talk and hope somewhere in all the blather, and all the, the blah, 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 some answer will emerge. That's what we do. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But, in actual fact, especially with lower levels, you need to give a really succinct answer. So I sometimes say, that's a great question. I'll come back to you. And then go away and think about it and figure out how to do it, how to present it and how to concept check and how to elicit. Okay, it's 8:05. Anybody got any burning questions that they'd like to share, or shall we call it a night?
Can I just share something quickly?
Yeah, you just about managed to get in there, Sean. I was just about to say goodnight.
I just wanted to, I've just noticed that if you, in your lesson planning, if you have very specific questions for a specific answer, you eliminate that whole thing about explaining something. So if you just think about specific questions or specific sentences you want to say to explain a grammar point or something, you eliminate that that whole explanation and getting lost.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point, actually. You tend to find that the stronger candidates anticipate, as you've said, and plan for all this. And they'll actually write the questions down on the lesson plan. And if you don't want to write, and some people don't like that, some tutors don't like that. So if you don't have to write it on the lesson plan, you could write it on a separate sheet. I'm happy for you to do it on the lesson plan or not. But that's absolutely golden advice from Shania. Write these things down, and that will save the long-winded explanations. I think we should leave on a high. Actually, leave on that little golden nugget from Shan there, and see you all at the weekend. We'll see you all in your classrooms. I was a bit perturbed last week because I was there at 9 o'clock and I was the only person in there. Iris, who worryingly travels around the world for a living, couldn't find the room. And Michael, who claimed to be an investigative journalist, also couldn't find the room. So between the two of them, I was disturbed. Hopefully they will find it this week. And try and get there for about 1:45. Set your room up so that when the students come in, you kind of you're ready to go. Okay. Also, just a final word. As I may have told you or not, my wife and by extension my family is Ecuadorian, and so as we've got a lot of Latin American students, I'm going to be doing a collection on Saturday. So just expect me to put up just a little. I'll put up a tin or a box or something and ask people to contribute to the earthquake relief fund. So just be prepared for that and smile and put 5 dirham in a box to get the students started. Okay. Anything else before we sign off? Fantastic. See you all on Saturday.
Did Ben have something? Oh, goodbye.
No, he was waving.
Oh, okay. So
see you all on Saturday, and I'll put the
everyone.
recording up tomorrow.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.